7 simple tactics to making a woman laugh and using humor. Hi guys, my name's Apollonia Ponti. I'm joined with Coach Cynthia.
Hi, how are you guys?
And as a lot of you know, Coach Cynthia works with me and she is an incredible coach and she helps you men really get results with women. We are coaches that help men with their attraction skills and overall in general with life, and not only women, but their life overall as a whole. So I'm so excited for this video. This is going to be fun because we're going to talk about tactics that actually a lot of men come to us for, and that's how to use humor,
Yes,
right?
real life examples, because we tell you guys how important it is to have humor when you're dating a woman, but how do we do that? So we want to give you some examples that you can relate with and start using them in your dating life.
Exactly. All right, so let's get started. All right, tactic number 1 is using slight sarcasm. What does that even mean? It means that you're really not telling the truth, but you kind of are, but we don't know just yet, but then it can be made into a funny particular situation or comment. So a couple examples, like what was one you had for a slight sarcasm?
Well, the most common questions that woman would ask, for example, is how many women have you dated? Mm-hmm. So if you don't really want to answer the questions because you have a long list, there's something you can say, not to avoid the question, but something just to spark the moment and get her to laugh. So something like, well, let's see, today 4, tomorrow maybe 5. What day are you talking about? Right? You're being sarcastic. You're not talking about how many specific women have you dated, but you're giving her an answer and you're going to make her laugh. Mm-hmm. So another example of that would be when woman asks, so how old are you really? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so you can say something like, well, I have a lot more years on me that I am willing to share with you today. So a lot of wisdom. I'll start with that. you know, sarcasm is a very useful tactic for you to have fun while you're dating without really to be too boring with your answer. Yeah, I'm 40. Mm-hmm. Right?
Or you can even say something if a woman's like how old you are. You can just say, I have an energy of a 20-year-old and I have a right knee that is like a 40-year-old. So in between, you guess,
that's
right?
So good, yeah.
Like you just have to make fun of it yourself too. And that's what we're going to talk about as well. So that's like using slight sarcasm. Number 2, tactic number 2. Calling yourself out. This is one that I love. Calling yourself out is huge and it works in your favor, especially if you're getting really, really nervous, for example. This is actually something that happened in our membership community when we were coaching, and actually it happened to Cynthia, yes. And it was a really great one with our client Ben, and Ben has transformed so much in our membership. Guys, if you want to check out our membership and get ongoing coaching with us, I'm going to put it below here in the description box so you can have this in your back pocket and always have these type of conversations one-on-one with us in a group setting. These are amazing, amazing tools that we're giving you in our membership and today. So calling yourself out means basically you're not even taking yourself seriously, especially if you're getting nervous. So an example I have for you is one time in our membership call, a guy wanted to work on his humor when we were doing mock dates. And so Cynthia was wearing glasses and I talk about it a lot because it was so funny. And he just basically was like, you look like my grandmother in those glasses, right? And she was like, what? And obviously grandmother, she does not look like her grandma. We all know this, right? And so he's like, and she was like, her response was, are you trying to tell me that I look like your grandmother? And he's like, yeah. And but his tonality was different because he knows that it was just not real, right? And so she started cracking herself out. She started laughing. We all started laughing. Everybody on the call started laughing because he wasn't taking himself seriously. And then he called himself out basically and just being like, afterwards when they started getting comfortable, thanks for taking my humor. I didn't really know what to say, but I'm glad you went along with it, right? And now he's calling himself out in that moment. Or he can do something on a date and just make sure, let's say that you're really nervous, which happens to a lot of people, and you're on a date. Maybe you can call yourself out in this way and say, I'm kind of nervous on this date, but thank God I'm not a hand surgeon because I'll definitely probably not really do well at this point. And you're just you're just calling yourself out and you're not taking yourself seriously because a lot of times women get nervous too.
Yeah, that happened actually to a client of mine when he was having a conversation and he was so apologetic after the fact. He missed the spot, like his lips while he was drinking wine, and he spilled a little bit on his shirt.
Yeah.
And oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I didn't mean. Like, he started just apologizing instead of like, you know, the perfect thing to say right after that. Like, I call it the perfect comeback.
Yeah.
Is like, man, you made me that nervous. You're that beautiful.
Yeah.
See what you made me do?
Yeah.
You know, like something like that. Like, that just is going to make her laugh instead of making her uncomfortable, that you sound so apologetic. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That will make a woman feel uncomfortable.
Or calling yourself out in that moment. And if you like the girl and just being like, you drank the wine and you poured it on yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, you can't take me anywhere. Next time, I promise I'm going to wear a black shirt. Right? So now you're kind of already kind of mentioning the next date, but also saying jokingly, oh man, you can't take me anywhere. Right? And then you can also go more forward with this. See, like, I love when I have things to go off of, because then I can just get in my brain. And then you can say something like, if this goes any further, you're going to be lucky, because you will have to carry a Tide pen in your purse everywhere we go, right? So like, you can call yourself out. And so now you're like actually putting in her head like, oh wait, there's a future, you know, stuff like that. So not only are you showcasing humor, you're also calling yourself out, but you're also kind of slowly trying to poke and escalate at the same time and show her that you're interested as well and showing intent.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's go into the next one is exaggerating. What do we mean with that? The exaggeration is so funny. It's important to do, and it's happened to me on my one time. I went on a date, and I was kind of like with 2 beers in me, so we were trying to play pool for the first time ever. I've never done this in my life. So he was trying to teach me how to do it, right? And I was like, and the third attempt I thought I got it. My position was great, and I was going for it, and all of a sudden I missed the ball. So when I missed, he just dropped the ball he had in his hands. He was like, I'm done. That's it. And he just threw his hands up in the air and just walked away. And I was dying.
Like laughing. If it was a deal breaker for him that you couldn't play pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not kidding you, Apollonia. I was laughing so hard just because he did that.
Yeah.
So that moment was a perfect time for him to exaggerate something that I did wrong. And he made me laugh. Like, he's okay with me being dumb in that moment, you know?
Yeah. I like that. So you're just exaggerating on what you're already having. Like, oh my God, you don't like coffee? We're never going to get along, right? Like, just like stuff like that, right? Is like, and then how in the world do you stay up, right? You know, stuff like that. It's just like exaggerating and just making something a little bit bigger of a deal than it actually is, but not in a way where it can be like an insult.
Right, like offensive.
Yeah. Offensive, exactly. Thank you.
So it's so important to actually like showcase your personality, but making a big deal out of something you did, but in a jokey way. That's what we're talking about. So the next one is so important, and it's one of my favorite because it's like interpreting things the woman says your own way. That make us know that you have your own opinion and you're capable of making a joke out of anything. For example, if a woman can say something that could make anybody uncomfortable, like, oh, what's up with your shirt? It's kind of a little weird what you have there. You can come back saying, instead of saying, oh, really? Or like making you feel uncomfortable, you can come back by saying something like, oh, I know, you would prefer to see me without it. I get it. But, you know, you need to work a little bit for it. So this is not the right place or time to do it. So let's see where this goes.
Yes.
Something like that, right? So you're coming back with an answer that is secure. It comes from confidence in a jokey way. So I guarantee you she's going to laugh with this one.
Yeah, or another common one is like women ask men like, oh, how many women have you slept with? Or you seem like you've been around, or tip something like that, right? That's kind of a form of a character test, aka shit test. But also too, like a woman will say like, how many women have you slept with, right? And you can say something like, oh, well, today, maybe only 2, tomorrow, maybe only 1. And I don't plan 3 days out. And you just smile, right? You're not really answering her question. She knows it's a joke, and right, you're slightly teasing as well, and you're exaggerating, right? And this is where you can just interpret differently what she says, right? Things like that. So she can say, I really love skiing, and I'm looking for someone that just likes the same hobbies as I do, and probably looking for, something more long-term, things like that. Maybe she says that. And then you're like, oh, wow, well, you got to be careful. You're definitely going to fall in love because I'm a ski champion and I love to ski. And moms love me, right? And so like now you're just like having fun with it and you're interpreting it totally different and you're basically saying that she's going to fall in love with you, right?
Or another one that is so good is one of my favorite actually, because I heard a client sharing this with me and say, Cynthia, what do you say when a woman says, just so you know, I don't sleep with guys on the first date, right? So when she says that, you know, like, oh, what doesn't make you think that I will sleep with someone on the first date?
Not that easy.
I'm not that easy or something like that, right?
Do I seem easy?
Maybe let's talk about it on the third day if you get there, you know, something like that, because it's like, it's a perfect comeback. Again, you guys, the comeback is so important because you're not taking yourself seriously. You're not taking her question or her testing seriously because you know she's teasing you. She's trying to cheat test you, like Apollonia said.
Mm-hmm. And that's when you can be like, oh my God, do I come off that easy? Maybe I need to button up my shirt so I don't show off this six pack.
Am I showing too much?
Am I showing too much? You know? And it even works good, guys, if you don't have a six pack. Like that's the thing. Like even if you have a little belly there and she says this and you're like, oh, I feel like I need to button up my shirt. I might look easy because I don't want to show off this six pack and you have like a little thing there. It works out so much better too for you. Literally, like tip number one is not taking yourself so seriously here, right? So the next tactic we want to talk about in regards to how to showcase humor with a woman is teasing. This is one of my favorites. I love to tease all the time. So you can also do things. This is my favorite one. And literally, it helps too with just letting the dust settle in the beginning when you're first getting to know someone, right? Like if you're going to go to the restroom, which everybody typically goes to the restroom on a date, right? And you're going to be like, excuse me, I got to go to the restroom. I'll be right back, obviously, right? And then when you say that, be like, just don't watch me walk away, even though I really know you want to. All right. But keep your eyes up here. And you're going to do that, right? Or like when you guys have been slowly flirting probably on the date and you slightly walk ahead of her and you look behind you and she's not checking out your butt or your ass, right? And you're just like, oh, I see you checking out my butt. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. This right here is something you're going to.
It's quite an asset.
Yeah, it's quite an asset. Exactly. There you go. Right. Or this right here is something that you got to work for. Right. And you kind of put yourself in that role where she has to work for you. This is teasing and it shows a lot of fun. It shows a lot of confidence. Guys, teasing works with women in the right way. Teasing is not like, oh, I find you sexy. Do you find me sexy? No, that's not teasing. Like, that's just weird. Teasing is literally, you want to think of teasing as thinking or making her think that she likes you, basically that she wants you, but yet you're the challenge, right? Like something like that where we were just saying, want to button up the shirt, I'm not that easy.
Yeah, that's a good one. No, and also it's very important to know that this doesn't have to happen the whole conversation because it just takes the special out of it. You know, like when you're like the whole conversation is based on humor, then there's no connection build up or anything. You have to do it randomly. So then it becomes like a boom, special. You know, this is the moment to do it. It can be the whole conversation.
Exactly. It's so important. We actually talk about this in our How to Flirt program, which is actually something you can find in our membership. So I would really encourage you to click the link in the cards or also the description box below to find out more about our membership where we actually give you one-on-one, where you can practice with us humor too on our mock dates and our coaching calls and so many amazing men in this brotherhood community that are literally getting so many results. These calls are so fun as well.
The mock dates are the best.
Yeah, they are. So let's get into another tactic that these men can use with women on their dates. I believe that you have to at least pick one or two stories that you can tell about a woman that is actually funny about you and probably slightly embarrassing, but then you coming back and owning it, right? Here's the thing where men go wrong in storytelling is they don't give visuals and they don't really make sense of the reasons of why they say something. So walk yourself through it, like as if you need to know the visuals of everything that was happening, but not too long. Take out the fluff, meaning let's say I have one. Let's say you were out with one of your buddies. I remember a time when I was out with one of my buddies. We went to this one nightclub. And I remember back in those days when I was going to those nightclubs, you know, when that song just comes on, like that 90s, like R. Kelly song, you're feeling it. And I was just feeling it. And all of a sudden, I'm dancing and my boys are dancing. And all of a sudden my shoe slips and I go boom, 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 boom down the freaking stairs. And you know what I did? Get her involved. And she says, what? I held my drink up and my drink was saved, but my back was out after that. And she starts laughing, right? So now you're calling out yourself. You're sharing an embarrassing moment. And maybe you even have like a picture or something, obviously not of you falling, but of a picture of you that night or something where you're looking good, stuff like that. You want to have 2 stories of you with material that you'll actually take her through the experience. You know how I talked about 90s song, R. Kelly, the stairs, a nightclub with your boys, and then the drink, you save the drink. The whole thing is, I saved my drink, right? That was, pat on the back for me. But
that will make me crack up.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that you find stories that you can tell. Practice with your friends first. So if you guys want to do this, the first thing I always say is find 2 good stories about yourself and then practice it with your friends and then see where you can probably come up better with it, or practice with us in the membership.
Yeah, and this reminds me of a story of a client, because I work with some clients that speak Spanglish, and sometimes they don't feel secure when speaking English, and they're attracted to American women. And there was one that was telling the story. He was feeling insecure about his English. So I told him, just have fun with the fact that English is not your first language. So I would tell him, for example, you're telling about your experience in a helicopter, but you forgot how to say helicopter because it's very similar to the word helicóptero, right? In Spanish. So I told him, what do you, what's the word? The one that says, she was dying laughing because, helicopter. No, she was trying to guess, but she got her involved in the story, and it was so good because you don't have to be ashamed because your English is not perfect. I mean, it's your second language, but if you own it, like Apollonia says, or you make fun of it while you're telling a story, you're getting her involved. She was so excited to see what else, what other noise, what is it? It was so fun.
Yeah. And then the next one I think is really good too is healthy competition with humor. Right?
Oh, yes.
A healthy competition, right? You can use it either, I have it in my escalation cheat sheet where you do the thumb war that breaks the physical touch too, and you do a thumb war. Let's see who gets it, and whoever does it gets the next drink or whatever, like that, whoever loses. Yeah. And then even if you don't want to get her the next, you don't want her to buy the next drink, even if she loses, you still can get it. But it's still creating a healthy competition or a nickname, right? You can create nicknames for each other that come out into these experiences in your date. So nicknames and creating healthy competitions goes really good with humor because it gets you in this game setting mode. Not game playing in relationships, but you're playing a game and it's kind of it's fun, it's challenging, and you don't know what's next. And so I think that's really important in regards to humor in relationships. I mean, on your dates, because when you are in a competition mode, naturally it's going to be funny, whatever you say.
Yes. And I've done it with you, actually. I remember just with friends too, but in dates, I would imagine that it's amazing because I would like a guy to do that when he's with me. Just looking around the room, if you're in the restaurant and just guessing, are they in the first date? Or how long you think they've been dating, right? And we was I guarantee that's the first date. Look, she's wearing all the flowers in her dress. The guy looks interested. This is definitely a first date. These people,
she's eating so proper,
or something like that. Yeah. People say, I guarantee you they're the first date. And then somehow it's okay, who's gonna win? The healthy competition, it really also challenges a woman when we talk about a lot of how women like to be challenged. So that's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, if you want more advice like this and if you want to work one-on-one so you can get better with your humor, I would really encourage you to not only sign up for our membership, but also to take advantage of this in our membership where we can do the group coaching. If you want to also get better at flirting and things like that, I would really encourage you to check out our program on the how to flirt as well. As soon as that comes out, that is in our side of our membership for completely free as well. So not only would you get that program, but you get ongoing coaching with us at a very, very small price. I'll put the link below. Thanks so much, Cynthia, for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for watching.
All right, guys, remember, if you want more videos like this, I would really encourage you to click over here and watch this next video. If you want to get better at asking women questions, then download this free thing right down here. It's a 20-question manual to get to know a woman's true self. This is a manual I've created for men that are dating women on the 4th, 5th date to really get to truly know who she is as a woman. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.